Yeah, hi there. These comments are for 4359. I am Michael, your English language program instructor here at California State University, San Bernardino for TOEFL Level 6. And you completed an integrated writing practice test, it looks like. So let's take a look at your first couple of paragraphs, and I'll actually do some error correction of what you've written so far. So you say, according to the reading passage and lecture, the bloggers and blogging can influence people around the world. Also, the reading passage talks about bloggers. They always the topic by themselves about any subject they want, not as journalists. Both the reading passages and lectures talk about the 3 ways to know the professionals, such as lack of professionalism, integrity, and in-depth discourse. Okay, so with the introduction, the problem is you're not really showing the connection. The purpose in the introduction is to state the main point of the reading and the listening passage and show what the relationship is. Clearly, the listening passage is disagreeing with every point mentioned in the reading passage, and that's the kind of relationship you want to show. So if you rewrote that first paragraph, it can be it can be reduced to something like this. You could say the reading passage argues that bloggers lack professionalism, integrity, and in-depth discourse to the writing. However, the speaker disagrees with each of these assertions. So in this case, I have a lot less information in the introduction. However, I'm more accurately showing what the relationship is between the reading passage and the lecture. Okay, so let's take a look at your second paragraph. So you say, first of all, journalists and authors who write books or articles have to study at college. So the problem is, where is this coming from? Is this information coming from a reading passage? Is this information coming from a lecture? Because you're summarizing information, you want to be explaining this information from the author or the speaker's point of view, not yours. So we actually need to revise this paragraph. In addition, you don't have enough information here. You're not showing what the most important point and maybe detail is of the reading passage, at least the first point in the reading passage, and you haven't really stated the first point in the lecture, and you haven't shown what the relationship is between those two sources. All right, let's take a look at this next paragraph. Your paragraph should look something like this. So it'll be, and notice that part of the paragraph, let me go ahead and let me put it in blue so you can kind of see what's going on here. So the part that's in blue, I'm explaining the main point of the reading passage. Then this other part here, maybe I'll make it red. I'll be explaining the first point in the speaking passage or the listening passage. So here we go. The writer argues that blogs lack professionalism because in their blogs, different from magazines or journals whose authors are qualified by the society, anyone can write down an essay. Unlike journalists or writers, bloggers do not have to attend college, nor do they need to complete internships before they're qualified to begin writing. However, the speaker argues that bloggers are growing in popularity and have formed markets with their specializations. Since blogs have already become businesses, as a speaker, these bloggers who write their essays through the internet market are beginning to qualify themselves as published writers. Right? So then, once you've done this paragraph, the next paragraph will talk about the second point from the reading and the listening passage. This involves the integrity of writing. What does that mean to you? That means about half of your paragraph, just like this, you'll explain what the main point in the reading says about integrity and about how bloggers lack integrity. Then the next part of that paragraph, you'll show how the lecture disagrees with that idea, saying that bloggers do indeed have integrity. Right? So that's your third paragraph. The fourth paragraph, you're going to move on to the idea of in-depth discourse. Like you did before, part of the paragraph will be the reading point, which claims that bloggers do not have in-depth discourse. And then part of that paragraph will talk about the listening passage, which says that bloggers do have in-depth discourse. And if you need to, I'm not going to say it's necessary, but then you'll have a conclusion, right? So that's kind of what you're looking for. Now, for your grade, let's take a look for a minute. Now, had this been the midterm exam, which it is not, I think it's going to be next week, I'm going to score you on this one 1.0 out of 5. That's going to put you at 8 points out of 30. Now, what it means is your response contains little meaningful or relevant content from either the reading passage or the lecture. Also, you have not presented this information in an organized manner. So you need to work on the organization. Make sure you have an introduction. The introduction doesn't need to be very long. It simply states the most important point from the reading passage and the lecture. And then you'll develop in body paragraphs 1, 2, and 3, you'll take reading point 1 along with listening point 1. In the next paragraph, you'll talk about reading point number 2 along with listening point number 2. And then third paragraph, you talk about reading point number 3 along with listening point number 3. And like I was saying before, had this been the midterm exam, you would have received here, I said a score of 1. That translates into a score of 52% out of 100. So there's a few things I want you to review to get ready for this midterm exam, right? And reviewing these lessons will better prepare you for this type of writing assignment. All right, so I'm going over to the writing part of the course. And let's take a look at this one. So I think I want you to take a look at lesson 9. So integrated writing task, answering that task. That's a good lesson for you. 9.1, a case study of 3 introductions. How about, I think lesson 9.6 here, getting the main idea of TOEFL passages, integrated speaking and writing templates. So as you look at this lesson, focus on the writing templates for the integrated writing practice test. That is the key. Also, take a look at lesson number 10, score higher than 28 out of 30 points by following 5 simple steps. Lesson 11 is 10 questions and answers about the TOEFL IBT integrated writing. And then finally, take a look at writing lesson number 12.2, paraphrasing with voice markers. These lessons will give you some excellent practice on how you can learn to structure this integrated writing task, and reviewing these lessons will prepare you so you will do much, much better on this midterm exam. All right, and thank you for completing this writing assignment.